Hey, Arsenal fans, thanks for coming and checking out this video. Today, I'm going to be taking a look over the transfer window and I'm going to be looking at all 20 Premier League teams and giving them a grade on their transfer business this summer. Let's get into it. Okay, so when looking at the transfer business, I've looked at four things. The first thing is the team, the impact the players have had on the first team. Part of that is going to be league position. Part of that is going to be whether they've strengthened the first 11. The quality of the player, um, or quality of the players that have been added. I'm also going to be looking at how the business side of things, how valuable the transfer is in terms of price for product. Again, just my opinion. And then I'm also going to be looking at the outs because a lot of people are judging transfer windows based on the players in, but then there needs to be business going out. So I'm going to start at the bottom of the table and work my way up. So we're going to start with Leicester. Leicester get an F for me. Terrible business. Although they did pretty well with selling their key kind of centre back for a very large sum, 75 million. Other than that, strengthened by making one signing, and they really needed reinforcements. So I think it's been pretty bleak window for them. 19th place, we are looking at Aston Villa. Aston Villa, I'm going to give a D. I think they've done generally pretty okay in letting players go. Should have let Douglas Luiz go. Obviously, their player, their prerogative. I just feel like they're going to get nothing from at the end of the day. So they kind of missed out on something there. Generally, I don't really think they've had an impact on new signings. Haven't had an impact on the team coming in. So overall, I'm going to give a D. Next is Wolves. Wolves, I'm going to give a C. I think they've done a good job of bringing some players in at decent money. Do those players improve the starting 11 a bit? Not really that much, but the players they've picked up for the fees are pretty good. So I think overall I'm giving them a C. Everton, I'm going to give a B. I think it started off pretty poor. I think they did a great job getting 60 million for Richarlison. I think it's daylight robbery personally. They did a really good job of getting that much money for him. And the players that they've bought in, have been okay. They haven't really, they've impacted the style of play. Everton, they've actually looked fairly good. They just haven't got the results. So overall, I'm going to give them a B. Bournemouth get a U. Not even going to give them a grade. Terrible. Just terrible. Nottingham Forest, a lot of people are giving them a top grade. I think they've done good business in terms of the prices that they've paid for so many players. I think overall they've improved their quality. I also think the players that they've brought in have had somewhat of an impact, but at the end of the day, they're not really picking up the points. It's going to take some time for them to gel. So overall, I'm going to give them a C. It could close. It could be a B or a C. I just think the deciding factor for me is having brought in so many players. It's I feel like it's too much. Time will tell. West Ham United. I think West Ham United have done a reasonably good job. I think the players they've brought in have improved their lineup. I think they've done good business. I think the players they've let go have been, the right kind of deals for, decent money. So overall, I'd say a B. Crystal Palace, I'm going to give a C. I think they've brought in really good players that fit their style, fit their squad. Um, I think the business has been good. They haven't overpaid for anything, and they've let some players go out that needed to be out. So I think overall, the players that have come in haven't really had much of an impact on the first team. And the quality just a little bit more. So fair C for me. Newcastle United, my surprise package. I think they've done a good job. I'm pleased that they didn't just go splashing money everywhere, because that would, to me, say that the people in charge don't understand the football business. I give them a B. I think they've recruited really smart. I think they've brought in players that have improved their team. The Isak deal, ordinarily I would say, was too much money. It's a lot of money, but because they did such good business elsewhere, I think it's it was a luxury that they could afford. So yeah, they get a B from me. Brentford, some of their acquisitions have been very good, for very good money. So the actual value of the transfer has been great. I think they've brought players in that have improved their first team, and they've let players go that needed to, at good money and for good experience. So yeah, a B for me. Chelsea get a D. I think listen, what they said about Arteta was he spent the most last window last summer, and that he must get top four. They've spent almost twice what we spent, so surely they should be challenging for the title. They spent way over the odds on players they didn't really need, I don't think. So I'm not impressed by their business at all. Some people might show this as being showing ambition. To me, it's showing naivety. Yeah, not impressed. They get a D. They get a D from me. Southampton have been quite shrewd. Value for money has been great. The players that have come in, have they impacted the first team? I don't really think so. Overall, does it raise the quality of their squad? Yeah, it does. Just a little bit though. And so, look at the outgoings. They've done a good job with their outgoings. So for me, Southampton get a C. Fulham, I've been impressed with Fulham's transfer business. So I'm going to give them a B. I think they've improved their first. They've improved the quality of their squad. I think they've improved their first team. I think they've done it with reasonably good value for money. And then in terms of their outgoings, they've done an okay job. So a B from me. Leeds get a B from me. I don't really think that they've improved they have improved their first team. Have those players had a great impact? I don't know about that, but they've definitely improved the team. I think the outgoings they've done have been very smart, and I feel like they've bought at reasonable price. Could they have spent a little bit more, maybe pushed the boat and got a few more in? Yes, because they made a hell of a lot of money on Rafinha, and on your boy that went to Man City, Calvin Phillips. So, their incomings has been, or their outgoings, their financial incomings have been great. So a B overall for me. Liverpool get a B from me. I think they've brought some players in who've definitely impacted their first team. I think Carvalho's done a good job. I think Nunes will do a good job. He hasn't really played, so it's difficult to kind of see how much of an impact he's going to make. But I don't. they've done an okay job with their outgoings. I think letting Mane go for such a small amount of money was a mistake. But at the same time, I understand you honor somebody who's given a lot to your club. So overall, on the balance of things, I think it'd be Manchester United. I'm going to give a C stroke D. I think looking at the criterias, have they improved their first 11? not not really. A little bit maybe. I think you have to look at the start of the season. There's a terrible start to the season with most of those players in. I think value for money has been terrible. They've paid over the odds for Martinez. They've paid over the odds for Casemiro. They've paid well over the odds for Anthony. Malacia, I like. And so I think overall, I think a C stroke D. Maybe I'll give them a C. Be generous, so it doesn't seem like I'm being biased because I'm not. So I'd say a C maybe. Brighton are very shrewd, have been for a while. Have they improved their first team? Not really. It's been average. Have they improved the quality of their squad? Yes, I would say so, but only a little bit. I don't think they've dramatically improved it. The business side of things, the money that they've received for players, the monies that they've gone and spent for players, very shrewd. And so, overall, I think a B is about right. Tottenham, I think they get a B. Have they improved their squad overall? Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think that's without question. Have they improved their first team a little bit? I think those players that they bought, I don't really think they've really started that much, and I don't necessarily think they're playing the greatest football at the moment, and that might take time for those players to bed themselves in. So at the moment, it's an average for me. Value for money, they've done some good stuff. Getting a couple of players in on free. Richarlison for 60 million is crazy. I don't care what anybody says. That's ridiculous money. And then I also Romero for 50, I think is I mean, it's a decent deal. But when you look at some of the centre backs Arsenal have bought, it pales in comparison. At the same time, you look at the centre backs that Chelsea bought, and it looks like a fantastic deal. So it's average in terms of players going out. I think they've done a good job. They've got a lot of the players out of their squad out on loans and that kind of thing. And so they've trimmed the squad nicely. So overall, I think I'll give them a B. Manchester City, they're the winners of this window. I mean, how could you say anything different? They have won the whole transfer window just through Haaland alone. I mean, the start, has he impacted the first team? Absolutely, 100%. Has he added quality to the team? 100%. Value for money? Come on. It's a joke. I mean, they paid, 50 odd million for him in pounds. And Spurs spent more than that on Richarlison. Yeah. I mean, and then the outgoings, they've done a phenomenal job of getting a lot of money for very young players, on the strength of their name and on the strength of their academy. So, absolute 100% winners of the transfer window. And lastly, top of the table, Arsenal. I think they get an A. I think some of the business has been extremely shrewd. Yes, I'm sure we're disappointed at missing out on a defensive midfielder, but honestly, that part of the window was 3 days, maybe even 2 days. So, I'm not disappointed about that. Over the last 2 years, we've done a really good job of building a new squad, bringing in players. I think we've brought in something like 12 or 13 players over the last 12 months. And so the whole point you build a squad is to be able to rely on a squad. So is it unfortunate Partey and El Nini are out at the same time? Yes, it is. But we've got Sambi, we've got Zinchenko, who's a great buy. We've got White, who can play there. Tomiyasu's played there apparently and could do a job there for a couple games. Xhaka could go back there. We've got options there. Do we really need a wide player? I don't think so. This stuff about Saka going to be burnt out is nonsense. There's a whole medical team that are there to make sure that that doesn't happen. He'll play one game a week because I don't think he's going to feature in many of the European games until kind of latter stages or tougher teams, which won't be many. I also think Marquinhos will come in. He's going to surprise some people. I think we've got Vieira who can play in those wide areas. We've got Smith Rowe who can play in those wide areas. You can put Martinelli over on one side, and so we've got options. I'm not worried about that. We've definitely improved our squad. We've definitely improved our starting 11 or our first team. We have done very good business, very shrewd. Outgoings have been poor. We've got people off the books, which is a positive. But some of the deals that we have in place, the money that we're asking for is not great in comparison to what some other clubs are getting. At the same time, we have to understand we've bought poorly in the past, and those players that we bought poorly haven't maintained their values. And so we're now being much more shrewd in the market when we're buying, and that will rub off onto our selling business in the coming years, because we've done such a good job of buying players who are of a profile where they'll maintain their value. So overall, Arsenal get an A for me, but Man City definitely the winners of the window. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch my video. Please like and share. If you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. There's more coming, lots more videos coming. I've also got the podcast, which is going out weekly at the moment. So please subscribe, and don't forget to click that bell so you get notifications about when new videos pop up. All that is left to say, come on, you Gunners!